This one landed out of the blue on Friday afternoon. Bob McGinn, who has covered the Packers for decades, was on a podcast with Tyler Dunn of golongtd.com. And McGinn blurted out some things about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I think these things even surprised Tyler Dunn. Now, McGinn weaved it together based upon his instincts, which caused some people to react derisively, as if that's the only source he cited. Instincts, knowledge of the game, knowledge of the Packers, and unnamed source with direct knowledge of the team's thinking. That's the key. In my effort to be complete as to the various areas of information that Bob McGinn was relying upon, people seized on the first one. It's not just his instincts. He knows somebody, and he clearly knows somebody. He covered the Packers for years. This guy's plugged in. And he basically said the Packers are done with Aaron Rodgers. They're disgusted with Aaron Rodgers, and they're ready to move on. Now, in my mind, that just complicates where things go from here, because if and when Aaron Rodgers emerges from his 4 days locked in a closet, ready to play and ready to play for the Packers, how do you disconnect? They owe him nearly $60 million. He doesn't have a no-trade clause, but if he only wants to play for the Packers, what are they going to do? McGinn suggested that they're ready to move on to Jordan Love and that Aaron Rodgers would be a $60 million backup. At some point, maybe Rodgers would just do it. Maybe he would welcome the chaos. Passive-aggressive, show up. I'm here. I don't want to be traded. I'm going to do what Brett Favre didn't do. This is the point where the Brett Favre-Aaron Rodgers career arcs separate. Favre wanted out. He wanted to play. The Packers' attitude initially was, hey, we can carry your $12 million salary. We're moving on with Aaron Rodgers. Favre accepted the reality that if he wanted to keep playing, he was going to have to be traded. And then it was the Buccaneers, the Jets, ultimately the Jets. He originally wanted to go to another NFC North team, and a year later he did. But what if Rodgers' attitude is, I'm not going to let you talk me into accepting a trade. This is where I want to be. I don't want to uproot my professional life. I want to be here. And I am ready to compete with Jordan Love. Let the better man win. What if he does that? What do the Packers do? They got a mess on their hands. So I think this is the minefield they've been trying to tiptoe through. Whatever they want needs to take a back seat to letting Aaron Rodgers come to his own conclusions. Now, maybe he won't want the fight. Maybe he won't want to be the villain. But you know what? He's kind of leaned into the villain role over the past couple of years. If you haven't noticed, he's a guy who used to be obsessed about not being criticized by anyone. Now he's happy to have a portion of the fan base love him, a portion of the fan base hate him. So I don't know how he's going to react to this. I don't know what he's going to do. Does he just brush it off? Does he say Bob McGinn doesn't know anything? They revoked his credentials several years ago. Or does he take it to heart? And does he realize, you know what? They do want me out. What am I going to do? Am I going to opt for chaos, or am I going to go along? And if he goes along, where does he want to go? If they're desperate to get rid of him, this idea that they're not going to trade him to an NFC team, at some point that needs to take a back seat to where Aaron Rodgers wants to play. Is he willing to go to an AFC team to accommodate the Packers' desire to not have to deal with him? And if they think he's not good enough to start anymore, why do they care if he goes to another team in the division or in the conference? They should want that. They should relish the opportunity to face maybe twice per year, maybe a third time in the postseason, a guy they know well, a guy they know what his weaknesses are, a guy they believe no longer brings it like he used to. So, look, this is the story of the offseason now that Tom Brady is retired, assuming he stays retired. Assuming he stays retired, Aaron Rodgers is the story. And many continue to believe there's no way Aaron Rodgers retires, because the last thing that he wants is 5 years from now to be the little special guest star line at the bottom of the marquee of the 2028 Hall of Fame class starring Tom Brady. It's already J.J. Watt knocked down to the second or third level. Aaron Rodgers will be in that same spot too. That's what makes people think, above all else, he'll keep playing. Where will he play if he doesn't play for the Green Bay Packers? And who will trade for him? Who will give up potentially significant draft resources to get Aaron Rodgers and then pay him $60 million this year without any commitment from him that he's going to stay for more than one season? And also signing on to the drama, the weekly Pat McAfee show appearances. One of the things I said about the Raiders, if he goes there, first thing Josh McDaniels, the head coach of the team, would say to Aaron Rodgers, no more McAfee. No more talking outside the family. That doesn't happen here. And if you have any doubts about that, this isn't the place for you to be. Would the Jets want it? Could he deal with the Jets media and the fan base? That's something Tiki Barber raised last week. So I don't know where he goes. I thought all along he's going to want to stay with the Packers. If this is true that the Packers don't want him, it makes a fascinating story 10 times more compelling as the offseason gets into full bloom. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.